Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, October the 16th. I decided that I was going to do my vlog early just because I had quite a few questions and I didn't want to go over like 10-15 minutes. So we'll get right to the chase. One lady had asked me a question about negative comments and if I had ever received any during my whole weight loss journey. And you know, I think it's all about how we visualize the comments and internalize them, because even though we may think that they're negative, I'm not sure if they really are negative. I mean, I can remember being at 220 to 200 pounds and people were telling me, Leanne, don't lose any more. You've lost enough now. And I would take that personally and I would be not understanding why they would be telling me this when I was still quite a bit overweight. And I think what's happening is that when you were overweight, or in my case, I was so overweight for so long that people were so used to seeing me, you know, at that point in time, 90 pounds heavier. So, I mean, when I thought about it, then I would realize that, okay, I have lost almost 100 pounds and these people have never seen me this small before. So, I'm not sure if they were telling me that because they were jealous or what the case may be, or if they were trying to make me feel good. So I think it all has to do with how we internalize these comments. I mean, I have had people, not necessarily negative, but I've had a lot of the comments about, you know, you've lost enough now, you're looking good, you should stop, or whatever. And I just kind of smile and say, thanks. You know, I'm doing this for me. And I do not need to explain to everybody why I want to get healthy and why I want to get to a certain range with my weight. That's my personal goal, and I decide that I know what's right for my body and I know what makes me happy. You know, as far as I'm concerned, I'm still healthy looking, and you know, I'm not looking to get to the crazy numbers. I just want to get healthy and be classified as healthy, because I don't remember the last time I was. So, you know, just maybe when somebody says something to you, try and see if you can see where they're coming from and maybe look at it from a different perspective. Another question that I get asked a lot is about extra skin. When you have had such a huge weight loss, and maybe in people who haven't had huge weight loss, I guess it depends on your skin, you're going to have extra skin. Sometimes it's worse than others, depending on your genetics, your age, the elasticity of your skin, how many babies you've had, if you've had any at all. So these things definitely play a part. I mean, I do have extra skin on my stomach, but it isn't, you know, it doesn't cause me any infections. I can run and it doesn't, you know, there's no breakdown of my skin, there's no damage. And even though I've been kind of stuck at this weight now since March, I have noticed a considerable change. I've actually gone down a size in my pants, and I've noticed that my skin has been tightening up. I just continue to do my exercising and my cardio and stuff, and I'm not sure if it's my body is just right now trying to put everything back in place and get everything settled and balanced again. But I know that the longer it takes you to lose the weight, the better chances of your skin being less there. I don't know what word to use. But I'm going to say this. I would much rather have a little bit of extra skin than to be 130 pounds overweight. I will take the skin any day. And for me, as far as a tummy tuck is concerned, I could definitely probably have one, but I still am hoping to have another child or so. So that right now is not even an option. But it is an option out there if, you know, if it's for you, if it's right, you can definitely go talk to your doctor. And it is major surgery as well, so there's lots of stuff to consider. But I would much take my, you know, I would much rather have the loose skin and be healthy, my organs be healthy, and my body, my bones be healthy than to be overweight. So that's how I look at it. I don't really care about the loose skin. I also had another lady mention that she's been doing everything right. She watched what she eats. She works out 5 to 6 times a day, regularly, and she can't lose weight. Sometimes when this happens, like, you could be at a fitness plateau, a mental plateau, or you need to stop and reevaluate. How long have you been trying to lose weight? Are you drinking enough water? Are you drinking, sometimes people drink too much water. And you're exercising, maybe you need to change your exercise. Maybe instead of exercising for 80 minutes a day, maybe cut that down to 30 minutes of high intensity or whatever. Change your activity totally. Instead of running, why don't you go and do some CrossFit or some circuits. Change up what you're doing. That's very, very important. Your body gets so used to doing the same things and adapts so well within like 3 to 4 weeks. That's when it's time to change up your activity again, because you're soon not going to burn the calories that you did when you first started that routine. Also, are you journaling your food? Are you writing every single bite down? In a run of a day, if we take, 10 bites of, little tastes of food, that could add up to an extra 100 calories a day that we don't even realize we're consuming. So that in itself, it's an eye-opener. Are you weighing and are you measuring your food? I'm more of a weigher when it comes to my food. I weigh my oatmeal, I weigh my meat, I weigh my rice, everything, because I find that, when I'm at home, because I find that that is the most accurate way of measurement for me, and it works for me. And yes, 2.5 years later, I'm still weighing and measuring my food. I did get out of it for a little while, but I was soon to realize my portions had gotten too big and it was time to bring back the scales. Somebody also asked me about sweets and how do I cut, or how would you cut them out? They're using light foods and they're using sweeteners. This is very controversial in regards to the sweeteners. I personally don't use them anymore. I don't add them to my food. Very rarely, maybe once a week I may. I don't like the stevia. I only like Splenda, which is not one of the good ones. And that's the one that I will add. Maybe if I have a latte or something, I will add a sweetener. I will add a Splenda. I find that when I had the sweeteners in my diet, that I would crave way more food, way more sweets. It just triggers something in me because I don't think the body can tell the difference in this, if it's real sugar or if it's not sugar. It's sweet and the body just wants more. Since I've cut it out, I have had zero cravings for any chocolate, nothing. I've gone through a cycle. I haven't craved chocolate because I've given it up now. This is going into the second month. Beginning of September, I think I gave it all up. I don't really use sugar anymore either, unless it's already in the food. I'm talking about adding extra. So that's, But the thing is when you ask me how do you cut out sweets, do you want to give them up completely, or, you know, because, or are you just doing it for the weight loss purpose? Because I don't believe that you should give up anything if later on down the road you're going to reintroduce it into your diet. That being said, is because you're going to need to learn how to have it in your diet now, because when you do reintroduce it, maybe a few months down the road, you could end up binging on it because you haven't had it in so long. So that's, you know, I never cut anything out. I just learned how to have it in moderation. You know, I would plan for it if I knew that I was going to be going to the movies on a Thursday night. Okay, I want a Kit Kat bar. I know that, okay, 6, 7 points, whatever the points is for that bar. Then I would just track it. It was not a big deal, and I would tell myself that I had to be satisfied with that one chocolate bar. It's mind over matter most of the time. So you need to ask yourself, you know, am I going to give it up forever? Or do I just want to get a handle on it? Or should I learn how to deal with it now, so that, you know, later on down the road, I'm not, you know, getting into trouble with maybe sitting down eating 6 or 7 chocolate bars. So that's how I feel about that with the sweeteners and stuff. Personal opinion, you know, you can do whatever you want. I'm not here to tell you you can't have sweeteners or what kind to use. That's totally personal. It's up to you. And the last question is talking about carbs. I eat carbs. I'm not a big carb lover. I never really was. I'm more of a protein junkie. But I do try and have carbs at almost every meal. I feel carbs are very important. The good carbs, not the bad stuff. I don't eat white bread. I don't eat white rice. Everything is brown, whole grain. I get my carbs from my fruits and my vegetables. I have oatmeal every single morning. For lunch, I could have, an English muffin, or I could have a sandwich on Weight Watchers bread. For supper, then I'll have sweet potatoes, or I'll have rice. I'll have brown pasta. So I do not cut any carbs. I also don't count how many grams of carbs I have a day. I'm not diabetic, and they don't seem to affect my weight loss. So I've never... I did not want to get into counting calories and counting carbs. I'm doing the points, so I just wanted to go by that. And like I said, I haven't had any issues in regards to eating the carbs. I did notice, though, that when I did cut back a little bit on the carbs, I would stop eating carbs maybe around 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and I did not lose any more weight because I had cut them out. So I said, why would I? But I did notice I would snack more at night. So now, for the last month or so, or 3 weeks, I'd say, I've been having like rice or pasta or sweet potatoes or whatever in the evening with my dinner, my protein and my vegetable. And I'm no longer snacking at night. Once 7:30 comes, I'm good. I haven't even had the urge really, or to have anything, unless it was planned, like I said, popcorn or whatever like that. So that's all my questions that I have for this week. I may do another video on Thursday, depending on how busy and stuff it is around here. And if not, I'll talk to you guys next week. I hope you all have a great week. And remember, deprivation is not the key. Motivation, moderation, and positivity. Very, very important. All right, we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.